Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you all well. So in this video we are going to be reviewing The Babysitter Killer Queen. Now this is the sequel to the hilariously brilliant The Babysitter, which was out a few years ago, and this time it is bigger and better than before on Netflix, and it places Cole, the unlucky Cole, the victim, back in the center of a crazy plot where he has to fight old and new demons in order to survive and convince everyone that actually this whole crazy devilish plot is actually true. And I'm going to break down everything to do with the Babysitter sequel in this movie review. Now this movie is set 2 years after the events of the first movie, and nobody believes Cole. Still 2 years later, nobody believes him about all the craziness that he had to suffer in the first movie. And him personally, he is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, which is very understandable after everything that he went through. Now his parents want to send him off to psychiatric school so that he can get better and overcome all of the craziness that he thinks that he went through. But he manages to escape this and instead goes to a lake party with his friends, which is where things make a sinister turn and the past comes back to haunt him with old and new demons wanting Cole's innocent blood, and so he has to fight for his survival again, defeat the demons and manage to survive this ordeal. The movie is also a lot more open than the first one. The first Babysitter movie was a lot more of like a Home Alone home setup, whereas this one is a lot more open world and Cole has to contend with, the beach, the lake and all of this sort of stuff in order to survive. And whilst it is a lot more open, it actually works really well. And the film is also a lot more elaborate than before. All of the scenes and all of the sequences are a lot more bigger and better than before, but it still continues and references all of the threads from the first movie into this movie, so it really works from a storytelling and story narrative point of view in terms of continuing from the Babysitter first movie into the Babysitter second movie. So from a cast and characters point of view, it's brilliant that everyone from the first movie is back in this movie, and they've also got some fresh blood in this movie as well. But the good thing is that it never feels overcrowded, so that's really great from a cast and characters point of view. And we also have Joe DeLewis leading the movie brilliantly as Cole, and he was a brilliant young actor in the first movie, carried the film so well, so much better than Frida Shaw was in Artemis Fowl. And like I said, he's 2 years older than he was before and plays loads of different facets of this character really well. All of the hilarious moments are brilliant, all of the scared moments are really, really cool, all of the brave moments are great, all of the in love moments are really, really funny as well, and as such is able to carry the film really, really well. We then have Alyn Lind, who is back as Melanie, and she was Cole's friend slash neighbour in the first movie. This time she's got a much bigger role and really does demonstrate that she is ready to lead the Gossip Girl reboot TV show with a vengeance. We then have Jenna Ortega joining the group, and she plays a bit of a mysterious new character that you don't know too much about and definitely adds a brand new flavour into the mix of characters. We then have Bella Thorne, Robbie Amell, Hana and King Batch all back as the resurrected demons from the first movie who have a killer vendetta to meet with the Cole character. We then have Leslie Bibb and Ken Marino back as Cole's hilarious parents. They are absolutely brilliant in the role. And talking of parents, we also have Chris Wylde, who is Melanie's dad, and he also is as funny as last time. He has some killer one-liners in this movie. And then finally we have Samara wearing back as Bee, who kind of ties everything together. She doesn't have as big of a role as last time, and I know there were some comments about whether or not she's going to even come back in this movie, but she's definitely there and she definitely ties everything together. So from a cast and characters point of view, this movie is absolutely brilliant. From a visuals point of view, this movie is absolutely brilliant. All of the set pieces at the lake look really, really creepy, really, really scary. All of the deaths look really gory and very spectacular, which is absolutely crazy. All of the hilarious fourth wall culture references are absolutely brilliant. And on that point, this movie is definitely a horror comedy, and those two aspects are really well communicated through the visual aesthetic. And so the style of this movie is really, really strong, fun, really cinematic, and so the visuals are absolutely killing it in this movie. In terms of comparisons, like I said before, the first movie definitely felt like a horror version of Home Alone, where a young kid is on his own at home and he has to outsmart some really evil characters. It also had a little bit of the Runaway Season 1 vibe in there as well, in terms of the youngsters are having to see the older characters do something very devilish. And on paper, the first movie really should not have worked, but it did, and it was absolutely brilliant, absolutely spectacular, which is obviously why a second one has been commissioned. And the second movie is a little bit like Horror 101 in terms of being set in a very creepy, scary lake setting in the middle of nowhere, and all of these kids are kind of getting hunted by these demon type characters. And whilst the first one is great, I also really enjoyed the second one. It definitely sustained my attention from start to finish, and like I said before, the horror moments are absolutely brilliant, and the comedy moments are just absolutely hilarious in this movie as well. So it's a really fun ride from start to finish. So in the end, it is revealed that B had a change of heart after Cole gave his little speech to her at the end of the first movie, and then kind of went back to being on the good side, and then was the mastermind that set the whole thing up in this movie so that Cole and Phoebe could meet up, fall in love, and ultimately defeat all of the other evil demons. Her entrance at the end was absolutely brilliant, wasn't it? So that was a really, really cool moment. And the mid-season credit scene shows that the Devil Book is still intact. It had a little bit of a Jumanji ending in terms of the game board is still alive and still well intact. So hopefully it will mean that a third sequel is on its way to us very, very soon to kind of see what's going to happen next with Cole, Phoebe, and the evil demons. Overall, I really enjoyed the sequel to The Babysitter, so much more than I thought I would have done. It's just such a fun movie from start to finish. Definitely continues everything that it kind of set up in the first movie. And like I keep saying, all of the horror moments were absolutely brilliant, and all of the comedy moments were really, really good as well. Absolutely hilarious. Very funny movie that definitely sustained my attention from start to finish, and I already can't wait to see what they're going to be doing in the third movie, which will hopefully get announced very, very soon. So for all of those reasons, I'm going to give the sequel to The Babysitter a solid 8 out of 10. I'd love to hear what you think, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.